Meow. Hello, James Peacock School. I'm Mog the Cat, and I've come to visit Mrs. Squires' cat just here next to me. She's called Marcy. I've come to say hello and ask Mrs. Squires to read one of the very many stories that have been written about me. I have a lot of adventures, and I know that I am one of Mrs. Squires' favourite characters from a storybook. She just loves to read my stories. I normally sit on her chair in class too, but I've come to make sure that her and her cats are okay. I hope that you enjoy the story today and let me know what you think. You could always write me a little letter. I might even send you a little video clip back. Have a lovely day. Meow.
Hi everyone, did you enjoy meeting Mog the cat just then? My other cat's disappeared, but Mog's still here because she wants us to read one of her adventures. I'm just going to show you my big heavy Mog book full of my favourite stories about this lovely cat. And we're going to read one of her very first stories. And as Mog told you, this is definitely one of my favourite children's books. This story is called Mog the Forgetful Cat. Here are all the people that live with Mog. We've got Mrs. Thomas, Mr. Thomas, Debbie, and Nikki. And there is the lovely Mog. Once there was a cat called Mog. She lived with a family called Thomas. Mog was nice, but not very clever. She didn't understand a lot of things. A lot of other things she forgot. She was a very forgetful cat. Sometimes she ate her supper and then forgot that she had eaten it. Sometimes she thought of something in the middle of washing her leg, and then she forgot to wash the rest of her. And once she forgot that cats can't fly. Do you know what? That sounds just like my cat. Both of them are always asking me for food, like they've forgotten that they've already eaten. But most of all, she forgot her cat flap. The cat flap led from the kitchen into the garden. Mog could go out and in again. It was her own little door. There she is, coming in and out of the house. The garden always made Mog very excited. Very happy there, doesn't she? She smelled all the smells, she chased the bird, she climbed the tree, she ran round and round with a big fluffed up tail. And then she forgot the cat flap. She forgot that she had a cat flap. She wanted to go back in the house, but she couldn't remember how. In the end, she sat outside the kitchen window and meowed until somebody let her in. Meow. Afterwards, you could always tell where she'd sat. This made Mr. Thomas very sad. He said, "Bother that cat." But Debbie says, "She's nice." Oh, poor Mog. You can't help it, can you? One day, Mog had a very bad day. Even the start of the day was bad. Mog was asleep, then Nikki picked her up. He hugged her and said, "Nice kitty." Mog said nothing. She wasn't very happy. Did you not like being picked up, Mog? Then it was breakfast time. Mog thought that cats have milk for breakfast. She forgot that cats only have eggs as a treat. She ate an egg for her breakfast. Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Debbie said, "Oh, Nikki doesn't like eggs anyway." Mog looked through her cat flap. It was raining in the garden. Mog thought, perhaps the sun is shining in the street. When the milkman came, she ran out. The milkman shut the door. The sun was not shining in the street after all. It was raining. A big dog came down the street. Mog ran, and the dog ran too. Uh-oh. Mog ran right around the house and the dog ran after her. She climbed over the fence, she ran through the garden and jumped up outside the kitchen window. She meowed a big meow. Meow. Very sudden and very loud. Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Debbie said, "It wasn't her fault." There she is again, and I think she's forgotten to use the cat flap, but also her big meow. What has it made Mrs. Thomas do? She's dropped a big pan of peas all over the floor. No wonder she's a bit cross with Mog. Well, Mog was then very sleepy. She found a nice warm soft space and went to sleep. She had a lovely dream. She dreamt that she had wings. That's fun, isn't it? She could fly everywhere. She could fly faster than the birds, even quite big birds. And suddenly she woke up. Oh no, can you see what she's sleeping on? Can you see what's happened? Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Debbie said, "I think you look nicer without a hat." Debbie gave Mog her supper, and Mog ate it all up. Then Debbie and Nicky went to bed. Mog had a rest tea, but Mr. Thomas wanted to see the fight. Mr. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Well, cats do like to sleep where it's nice and warm, and I bet it's nice and warm on top of that television. Mog thought, "Nobody likes me." And she thought, "Debbie likes me." And Debbie's door was open. Debbie's bed was warm. Debbie's hair was soft, like kitten fur. Mog forgot that Debbie was not a kitten. Oh dear. Look what she's doing. She thinks she's giving a kitten a bath, giving a kitten a wash. That's really sweet. Debbie had a dream. It was a bad dream. It was a dream about a tiger. Oh dear, why do you think she's dreaming that? I think she thinks that Mog's a tiger. The tiger wanted to eat Debbie. It was licking her hair. It wasn't really, was it? It was Mog. Mog was licking her hair in her bed. But Debbie was asleep and thought it was a tiger. Oh no. Ah! Debbie shouted. Mog jumped. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother, bother, bother that cat." Debbie said nothing. She was still crying because of a bad dream. Oh dear. Mog ran out of the room and right through the house and right out of her cat flap. She was very sad. The garden was dark. The house was dark too. Mog sat in the dark and thought dark thoughts. She thought, "Nobody likes me. They've all gone to bed. There's no one to let me in, and they haven't even given me my supper." Then she noticed something. Can you see? The house was not quite dark. There was a little light moving about. She looked through the window and saw a man in the kitchen. Mog thought, perhaps that man will let me in. Perhaps he'll give me his supper. Some supper. What do you think that man's doing? What's he got? He's got all the silverware, hasn't he? He's a burglar. She meowed her biggest meow, very sudden and very loud. You do it with me. 1, 2, 3. Meow! The man was surprised. He dropped his bag. It made a noise, and everyone in the house woke up. Mr. Thomas ran down to the kitchen and shouted, "A burglar!" The burglar said, "Bother that cat." Mrs. Thomas phoned the police. Debbie let Mog in, and Nicky hugged her. Oh, Mog saved the day. A policeman came, and they told him what had happened. The policeman looked at Mog. He said, "What a remarkable cat. I've seen watchdogs, but never a watch cat. She will get a medal." Debbie said, "I think she'd rather have an egg." Is that right, Mog? Yes. Mog had a medal, and she also had an egg to Mog with bravery. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas told all their friends about her. They said, "Mog is really remarkable," and they never, almost never, said, "Bother that cat." There she is. That's you, Mog, looking super proud with your medal on. What a fabulous story. I love these stories in this book, and hopefully I'll be able to share a few more with you soon. I hope you really enjoyed it too. And I shall read you another story really soon. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the day.